What if I told you that the story of Noah's Ark is far more terrifying than you ever imagined? That ancient texts and forgotten records reveal details left out of most retellings? That the flood was not just a punishment, but a battle, a final war against something far darker than we were ever told? Tonight, we uncover the shocking reality behind one of the most mysterious events in history. A story of warnings ignored, of desperation, of survival, and of a darkness that the flood waters could not wash away. The world before the flood was unlike anything we can comprehend today. It was an age of giants, of civilizations lost to time, of corruption so deep that even the heavens took notice. The book of Genesis tells us that mankind had become utterly wicked, but ancient texts hint at something even more chilling: beings that were not fully human walking the earth, the Nephilim. These giants, the offspring of fallen angels and human women, filled the world with violence and chaos. The people worshipped false gods, practiced unspeakable rituals, and turned against the Creator. The earth itself groaned under the weight of their sins. But the corruption went even deeper. Legends speak of knowledge that was never meant for mankind, secrets of the heavens stolen and given to men by fallen beings, forbidden technologies, dark alchemy, and sciences beyond human comprehension. The world of Noah was not just sinful, it was unnatural. It had been tampered with, altered, and this was something that could not be undone. The Creator had to intervene. And yet, in the midst of all this darkness, there was one man who remained faithful: Noah. Unlike the others, he did not bow to the corrupt ways of the world. He was a man of righteousness, a direct descendant of the first generations of humankind, and he still walked with God. And so, when judgment was decreed, Noah was chosen not to escape but to endure. God gave Noah a command that must have sounded insane. "Build an ark," he said, "a massive wooden vessel, longer than a football field, 3 stories high, capable of surviving a global catastrophe." Noah was not a shipbuilder, he was not a sailor, and yet he obeyed. As he worked, he warned the people of what was coming. He told them of the impending disaster, of the flood that would wash away the wickedness of the world. They laughed at him, they mocked him. Some may have even threatened him, but Noah continued. And then the skies darkened. But it was not rain that came first, it was something much worse. Ancient texts suggest that the flood was not merely water from the sky, but a cataclysm of unimaginable proportion. The earth split open, releasing violent torrents from beneath. The heavens unleashed a storm unlike anything before or since. The waters were not just from rain, they erupted from the very core of the earth. Geysers exploded, mountains crumbled, and fire and lightning raged in the skies. And in that chaos, something else happened, something few speak of. The people, realizing too late that Noah had been right, fought to survive. They ran to the highest points, climbed trees, clung to anything that might keep them above the rising waters. And some, in their desperation, tried to reach the ark. Imagine it waves crashing, wind howling, the screams of thousands. They pounded on the sides of the ark, begging to be let in. But the door was shut, sealed by the hand of God himself. No one else would enter. Judgment had come. For 40 days, the world was swallowed. Cities disappeared beneath the waves. Entire civilizations were erased. The Nephilim, the mighty giants, perished with the rest. But did they all die? Some ancient texts suggest that some may have survived, retreating to hidden places, waiting for the flood to end. If this is true, what became of them? And above it all, the ark floated an island of life in a world of death. Inside, Noah and his family endured. It was not an easy existence. The ark was no luxury ship. It was dark, filled with the sounds of restless animals. The air was thick, damp, heavy. The food had to be rationed. The days stretched into weeks, then months. They could hear nothing outside but the relentless storm and later the eerie silence of a world drowned. Then, one day, the ark jolted. It had come to rest on a mountain. Noah sent out a raven. It did not return. Days later, he sent a dove, and when it came back with an olive leaf, hope sparked anew. The waters receded. The land reappeared. And finally, after over a year, the doors of the ark were opened. They stepped out into a world washed clean, a world reborn. But here is where the story takes a turn most do not expect. Noah, the man who had seen the end of the world, was never the same again. He planted a vineyard, made wine, and because how do you live? Knowing, or the first time in his life, he drank until he could not stand. Some say he did this to celebrate, but others believe it was something else, an attempt to forget. Because how do you live knowing you heard the screams of thousands and could do nothing? How do you move on, knowing you walked into a world where everything and everyone you once knew was gone? But Noah's story doesn't just end there, because something strange happened after the flood, something many overlook. The Nephilim should have been gone. The bloodlines of the fallen should have been erased. And yet, centuries later, giants reappear in the land of Canaan. Where did they come from? How did they survive? And more importantly, what else survived with them? Noah's story is not just about survival. It is about judgment, faith, and the price of witnessing history's greatest catastrophe. It is about a world so corrupt that even divine intervention could not fully cleanse it. And perhaps it is a warning that when the world turns from its creator, there will always be a reckoning. But the greatest mystery of all remains. If the flood was meant to wipe out all corruption, why did some evils return? And could it happen again? Some say another flood is impossible. But others believe that the next great cleansing will not come by water, but by fire. If history truly repeats itself, then perhaps, just like in Noah's time, warnings are already being given. But the real question is, will anyone listen? Want to hear more Bible stories? Then subscribe to our channel, leave a like, and share this video so more people can learn these stories.